Great Scott. Great Scott. Great Scott.
Hello everyone and welcome to another fabulous episode of Great Scott. I'm Scotty V. Thanks for watching. So, about last week, the day of or the day after the last speeding bulletin came out, we had a little photo that surfaced online. I guess some people have said that the people who are sharing this around, who know that clearly the person who originally put it up realized after the fact that he shouldn't have done it, means that we're also culpable in the idea of making this photo go viral, making everybody see it, and we're part of the problem. Now, I'm sharing it when I do because I'm trying to say I don't think this is something that a guy playing Superman should do in the suit. Now listen, it's not the end of the world. I'm not up in arms about it. I'm not calling for his firing. He's an actor. He's playing Superman. He did a fine job. I wasn't thrilled with the portrayal, but only because that type of writing, that style, is not necessarily my favorite. But I like seeing him. I'm looking forward to seeing him in the finale of Supergirl. Tyler Hoechlin, of course, is who we're talking about. And a photo of him on set with the woman who plays Alex and the woman who plays Maggie, where they were both smiling and looking fairly appropriate for a photo like that. And he is like this, but his middle appendage finger, his finger is up, which is a thing the kids are doing these days. Everybody's gotta be cool, you know, it's the in thing to do. You give the finger when you're taking a selfie. You know, when you're in your 20s like this guy, it's hard not to bow to peer pressure. It's hard not to be the Twitter, the /Instagram generation where it's so cool and hip to throw your finger at the camera. Which is why it's not that big a deal. I mean, we all have done it, I'm sure, in different times. Especially joking around with your friends, you might do it. It's not necessarily extremely vulgar. It's not the most terrible thing you could do. It's not even the worst type of vulgarity. But it is un-Superman-like. It is slightly disrespectful to the job that he's in, the costume that he's wearing, the character that he's playing, the children who might see him. And I've heard people say, well, if you don't want your kids to see that, then don't let them go on social media, which probably at a certain age you shouldn't be on social media anyway, but this is a thing that obviously got out and is now being talked about and is something that a kid shouldn't have to see a guy in a Superman uniform doing. Now, there are people who wear Superman uniforms to Comic-Cons, out on Halloween, and I'm sure they do much worse things than throw the finger at the camera. But my reasoning here is that he's on the job, he's working, he's in a role that he should be respectful of, and he should feel appreciative of having that job. I'm sure he wasn't thinking. I'm sure he was just trying to be cool, because that's what the kids do these days when they're in a photo. But it really lacked a bit of class. It's inappropriate for a guy in a Superman costume, in an official capacity as Superman, to do. That's all. Probably the most commented on post I've ever posted, and for the most part, I think people thought I was being a little hard on him, and I think a lot of that stems from the love that people have of him playing this character, because they've been so down by the movies and they love that there's a more positive, happy version. But it's not particularly positive to look grumpy and give the camera the finger, but it is something that people do in jest. So it could have very well been a jestful photo. My understanding was that David Harwood was the one who shared it, that's Martian Manhunter, and then pulled it down off of his Instagram. I was unable to find an actual connection. I can't even find a story or anything online. So it's clearly not even made news, which is good, because less people will be affected by it. And since I shared it and other people shared it, maybe there is some truth in saying we're the ones who are making it something and it doesn't have to be anything. I would just say that it's not necessarily the best way to go about being at work and being respectful of the job you have and the writers and the creators and the people who put you where you're at. Even if you're messing around, we are in the social generation where everything gets put online. And he may not have thought it was going to be, and maybe the person who took it and then posted it is to blame, certainly to some extent. But that person recognized that and took it down, wouldn't have been a problem. if Tyler hadn't made the gesture in the first place. Stay away from things like that, I think, when you're in the uniform in an official capacity. Thanks, everybody, for watching. And remember, always keep your middle finger down.